speaking of Igbo, kind of going back to the Igbo name of the day, if you can just kind of tell us a little bit more about how that started for you. I know you spoke about the importance of language and how, your friends or people that you connected with, they kind of inspired that in you. So if you can tell us a little bit more about, how Igbo day, name of the day got started, how you choose the names, like what kind of influences do you use to choose the names? And then if you have any background in this, if you can talk more about your understanding of Igbo naming traditions.
Sure. It started out, I'm on Instagram. I'm posting pictures, interacting with people, and I'm trying to think of exactly what inspired it. But I think in general, a lot of the people who I was friends with and everything like that on social media, they're Igbo, and names have always kind of fascinated me. I'm not sure why, but they've always kind of fascinated me. And I know our names just carry so much meaning. And basically, like you were speaking before about people being connected to the cultures. Like you can always tell where someone's from if they have that name. I mean, there's certain people who they're very in touch with their culture, and they say their name, and you can hear the accent, like they're saying something in our language. And there's some people who might not be so much connected with it, but you can always tell where someone's from. Sometimes people ask me, how can you tell, like, someone who's not Igbo, someone who's American, like, how can you tell what tribe someone's from? I'm just like, well, if I can understand what their name means, like if it's a word that I know and I can say that I know that they're from my tribe. Like, oh, okay, I get it, but I don't get it. And so I've always been interested in names and their meaning, and that's a good place to start for people who want to become more fluent with it, because you obviously know your name, so that's the first place to start. Knowing the meaning of your name, the root words and things like that, what it means, and then it can help as a building block to understand other names. And I think in general, I think I just started it out one day. I can't remember exactly. I think it just came to me, and I started highlighting people's names and explaining to people what their names mean. Because I've always been about fusing different elements of art together. That's like my passion. So culture and art and things like that. It started off as that, just kind of like highlighting people's names. It might have even been a client that I had who was Igbo or something. And, I just wanted people to like understand what our names mean. And I'm always about fusing different elements of art together to kind of create something better, so it's not just photography or something. And it got to the point where, I'm highlighting people's names, Igbo people's names, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't want anyone to feel left out, because I know there's Americans, there's all different types of people on my social media, so let me include other people. I don't want them to feel like I'm just exclusive, or I'm just exclusively, I only favor certain types of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, but I don't know how to involve them. I don't even know if they would care. And I was just like, well, you know what? And I think this is around the whole the year of return, maybe.
Okay.
Black Panther thing. And I was like, I'm seeing a lot of interest in African Americans to understand where they come from. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they would like to, and everyone's doing, DNA testing to know where they came from. Like, maybe people would like, African Americans would like to know who identify that we're Nigerian. They would like to know where they, if they had a name, to have something to connect with, because they might have a name that they might know the meaning, but they know that they might not be aware of the actual, the name that they would have had if they were from Igbo land or somewhere else. Right. So I said, you know what? I want to share this with people. And so I added another series. It wasn't just Igbo Name of the Day. I started doing Igbo Name of the Day giveaway, where I just asked people. They give me like their name, so to answer your question about how the names are given, like your name, any like events that happened around your birth that your parents might have been inspired by, your relationship with God, their relationship with God, how people would describe you, maybe things that your parents wanted to speak or manifest into your life and things like that. Um, a lot of that just kind of goes into the name or yeah, things like that. And so I I kind of gave it a little bit more of a generic spin because when I ask certain people, they might not know the answer to all these questions. So I kind of asked them, how will your friends and family describe you and things like that, because there might not be an event going on in their parents' life that inspired their name or their relationship with God or something like that.
Right.
So, like that example you gave, Nkolika. So I think she listed a few things about herself, and she kept one of the themes that kept coming up over and over again was communicating with people, being involved in the community, being like an activist and things like that. So that's why I gave her that name.
Nice. So you actually brought up a really good point. So you mentioned how, like with Black Panther, Year of the Return, all these different things that kind of brought up this interest or this renewed interest, African ancestry, DNA tests, stuff like that. So one common trend or theme that a lot of us in the diaspora experience growing up is, not being looked at as cool or interesting or whatever, but kind of like this somehow, renewed interest. Because I think now, because we are appreciating our culture, now others are also interested as well. So I think a lot of people, they kind of feel, oh, well, you weren't rocking with us before, so why do you want to be cool with us now? Like, how do you address people who feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I can only really speak to what I've done. I can understand what they're talking about because I went through it too. And and everyone has a right to feel, how they feel. For me, essentially, I've had, it's like I've almost had like multiple, I don't know what to call it, not multiple identities, growing up, because around my parents and family, friends and everything, I'm Igbo. To everyone else, they see the color of my skin and I'm just Black, so I've had to be like that. And then, in school and certain places, like we're a minority in this country, so you kind of have the code switch there too, and basically have that identity. Some people would call it, not being as Black as you could, but so it's like I've had to relate to a bunch of different types of people, experiences in my life.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. That's a good question. I would say to them, just be open. You have every right to feel upset, but just know that if you kind of close yourself up, you might miss out on opportunities. And they were kind of told that, like, I don't think a lot of that came from them. You know what I'm saying? They were kind of told that there was no value in their culture. That was kind of by design, So it's like, it's I think just to put that into account too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.